What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about the books I read that I found to help me out a lot. Now, before we get into the actual titles, I just want to say I do not personally really read books anymore. I think books have their place, but my opinion on books is a lot of them are about the mindset, the motivation, and very general, can help beginners, got me into the mindset, and opened my mind a lot of how you can actually think. And I'll go over it when I show you guys the titles in a second, because I'll show you every one I read. But now I find a lot more value in YouTube videos or information products and other things like that, because I want to know how to do something step by step. And when you're reading a book, there's tons of fluff. It takes more time. With a YouTube video, I can skip ahead. I can tell very quick instead of have to sort through pages. But like I said, there's a time and a place for books. And there has been one book I've probably read in the last year, and that was it, one or two. And it was a very good book, and it is on my list. So I just want to put that out there. I don't personally really read anymore unless I know there's a really good book or it's recommended, because I don't need the motivation. I don't need the mindset. I don't need the general how to start a business, things like that, super specific. Sometimes I'll read those for fun and just enjoyment. But if I'm reading to learn, then I stick with honestly watching YouTube videos, Googling stuff online, paid information products, whether it's a course or a mastermind, because when you get to these levels, higher levels, you're not going to learn stuff from books really. You might learn something here or there, but if it's in your field, you're most likely going to have to pay a lot of money for a mastermind. Now, does Ty Lopez read a book a day? I highly doubt it. I honestly don't believe that. If he did that, I think he's losing a lot of money. He might have used to do that, or he just says that because he has his book. He might, I don't know. But he's probably not learning a lot if he is. So keep in mind, I think YouTube videos, you can get way more value from than books, because all the information in books is out there for the most part. So let's get into this, and I'll show you the books I read, what I thought about them, and if they actually helped me, and any ones I still recommend. Now, the site I'm using here is one I've used for a little bit now. I've played between different sites that do this, but I do a mix of ebooks, whether it's audiobooks, ebooks, or just physical, having copies of the book. Now, the site I'm using right now is called Scribed. The site I'm using is called Scribed. Now, you pay $8.99 a month, and you can get unlimited ebooks reading. You can do it ebook or audio, completely up to you. So sometimes if I'm doing cardio at the gym, driving, I'll have the ebook on, or I would used to, since I don't really read the books anymore. But I saved all the books I personally read. Now, some of the ones I mainly started with were how to stop worrying, start living. So very general mindset. I personally would not recommend that. That's very, very beginner, maybe if you're just starting out. And then I moved into ones kind of like mind hacking. So very general, just overview, mood, things like that. And then I started moving into the more entrepreneur type books, like How to Sell Anybody on Anything. And that one opened my mind a little bit. But one that really opened my mind was the 4-Hour Workweek and How to Win Friends and Influence People. Those were two big ones as far as the mindset shift of, okay, everyone telling me I have to work super hard and grind my life away isn't doing it, right? And this one, these really started to open my mind of saying, okay, I've been told this all my life. You have to do this. This is how it works. And this guy just told me it's not that way. And then you start doing more research online, different things. You're like, oh crap, that's actually true. Everyone's been told kind of wrong. And there's other ways of doing this. So this book was a big kind of turning point for me right there. And then The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I honestly did not finish this one. I read part of it and stopped. I didn't get very far, so I just put that on the list because I started it. And then let's move back up here. 10X Rule. I read that. Honestly, it was kind of beginner book in my opinion, which I expected. So if you're a beginner, it can be cool. It's from Grant Cardone. I like Grant Cardone, so I read it. And then The Lean Startup is one of the books that pushed me to start YouTube and the information products and stuff like that. And that was one of the ones that was good with information. It's not just mindset, but what you can do with it, routes you can take. It doesn't say you do this, then this, then this, then this. It has some of that in there, but it opened my mind and showed me paths you can take instead of just saying you can do this and that's all. So it was a little bit intermediate on that book. I recommend that one a lot. That's probably one of the biggest books And then just general finances and investing and stuff like that. The Tony Robbins book was pretty good. It was a little long for me. I skipped through it, but I enjoyed that one. And then he has his second book down here, which I have not finished yet. I like to click finish just because I'm OCD. I'm about halfway through that. And that is one I am actually reading now. I know I said I don't read. I usually read 1 or 2 books if they're good. But by far the best books I've ever read, again, these are more advanced. I would not recommend these unless you have a established business or you just really want to learn the advanced stuff and you have the basic stuff down and you just haven't applied it yet. But books that actually tell you what to do, how to do it, what works, and shows actual data of, okay, we did this here and we got these results, and then we tested this here and we got these results. This was better because of this and this. Were Russell Brunson's 2 books. I honestly expected them to be fluff because he's an online marketing guy, but there's actually a ton of value in these. And this was one of the books I read a couple months back where I was like, all right, I'm done with books. I'm too good for books. Not really, but that was kind of my mindset there. But these, especially .com Secrets. I have not finished Expert Secrets yet, but .com Secrets, probably the best book I've read as far as information and teaching. Mindset, again, obviously these changed my mindset a lot, but .com Secrets, if you're into online marketing, personal branding, information products, or even just growing a brand in general, I would highly, highly recommend this book. Now, you can buy these on Amazon, but like I said, a subscription described is $8.99. You can read as much as you want, ebook, audio, so completely up to you. Now, other than just books, I'll leave a link to this in the description if you guys want. Now, How to Sell Anyone on Anything. Pretty good book. It's more so psychology. And if you get psychology a little bit, it kind of goes along with How to Win Friends and Influence People. I kind of felt they were similar. Now, there were 1 or 2 books I did not read that were on here. But again, they were very, very general. One was kind of a pamphlet from someone where it was about split testing online. My bad, I forgot a couple books, guys, so I went back and added these in because I had a second list and I totally forgot them. So a book I actually read in high school and I didn't think much of it, but it still started to open my mind a little bit. I read it my senior year, was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now, it's geared towards more the average person, which is why I didn't enjoy it too much, but it has good ideas, and I'm sure most of you have read that already. It's a good one. As far as straight entrepreneurship, it's not really in that niche, though. Millionaire Next Door, honestly, don't remember that one. That was one of my first ones as well. Think and Grow Rich was pretty good book. Again, these are all pretty general. My more early on books, these are books I actually had physical copies of. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Millionaire Next Door, these kind of reminded me of each other, just a little different view on things. I read the Gary Vee one. It was a little too general, a lot of fluff and motivation per Gary Vee. But again, has its place. Intelligent Investor, I enjoyed this one. But by the time I read this one, I read the Tony Robbins and other books that touched on investing, and very basic with the passive income. Make a lot, save for your life, invest in safe assets, make passive income. And that's not what I was looking for at the time, but a good book nonetheless. And then Sprint, which is a little bit more intermediate to advanced with testing new ideas, how to do it quickly, get work done, test, see if it works, and if it doesn't, switch to the next thing. So that is a very good book, whether you're talking about building out a software or testing new ideas just in general. So those were a couple other ones I read. Like I said, there's a lot of information on YouTube and other places you can find that you might not find in books or might be out there but would be hard to find. I personally like YouTube because it's quicker. I can search specific what I want and can learn it. However, with books, the nice thing about books is when you're on YouTube, you might get Tanner's opinion over here on Amazon, and then you go get someone else's opinion on Amazon, and then someone else's, and you have a bunch of pieces from different people that might not line up perfect. But when you get a book, if it's teaching like that, it's nice to have one person's opinion all the way through, but then you only have one opinion as well. So it's just things you need to keep in mind when you're learning anything, whether it's from YouTube, from a book, is get multiple views on it from different places, because there's a lot of views. Like Grant Cardone loves leveraging money. What's the other dude's name? Totally forgot the guy's name. Is really popular. I know what it is after this, but I'm just blanking. Hates leveraging money because he got burned. He over leveraged himself, so now he talks about never having debt, paying off debt, which is good for the average person, but not for the entrepreneur. So just keep in mind, people will be biased, but there's a lot of good information. If you don't know where to start at all, you're in the entrepreneurship game, let's say, and you haven't done anything, you don't know where to start, you're like, okay, there's all this information, where do I start, where do I learn? I'd recommend one of the more simpler books like the 4-Hour Workweek, How to Win Friends, Influence People, the finances. If you're younger, teen entrepreneur, it'll be good to know those, but it's not going to get you into entrepreneurship. The Lean Startup, and I'm sure there's some other good ones in here. If you guys want to leave in the comments any books you read that really helped you, and maybe a short sentence or two about them and whether they're good, if it's mindset, if it's how-to step-by-step, or what you thought about it, feel free to drop them in the comments. And like I said, I'll leave a link to Scribed in the description if you guys want to check it out. And I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video.